Hey everybody, welcome back to the Deep Thrones Pods YouTube channel. Doing something a little different this time. We are not doing a map time. We're doing a Game of Thrones character ranking. Whoa, that'll be super fun. Here are the categories. We got the best, very good, solid characters, average, just there, and pointless characters. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be doing this based just fully on how I think the character was utilized in the show. Obviously, we will not talk about book canon at all. This is very show-centric. And how they were portrayed, their arc in its entirety. Obviously, some of these characters are more significant than others, but the world itself creates such rich personalities. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. We're approaching 100 subscribers, so that'd be super cool. We'd really appreciate that. Be helping us out quite a bit. First character on the list, as we see. Also, I should say, if you disagree with me, please be sure to drop a comment. I do not mind at all. Very open to feedback, to criticism if I get things wrong. If I get a name wrong, there's a lot of characters on this, and I haven't rewatched Game of Thrones in a while. If I get a name wrong, that'll be embarrassing, but also it happens, you know? You gotta give ourselves some grace sometimes. And speaking of grace, his grace, the Mad King, King Aerys, is first on the list. His portrayal in the show, I think average. But they move the story so much. They're so ever present in the story. I'm going to go with solid character, even though some people might think in the long run kind of pointless. But the Mad King is sort of this specter that exists over Game of Thrones. So that's why I'm going to put him in the solid character category. Then we got Alliser Thorne here, which is a funny back-to-back Mad King to Alliser Thorne. He makes Jon Snow's life hell on the wall. He moves the story along. He's great in the battle of, the wall against the White Walkers, the Watchers on the Walls, that episode in season 4. Not against the White Walkers, I'm sorry, against the Wildlings. He also, of course, stabs Jon Snow and is part of the Traitors arc in season 6, which is kind of clunky and clumsy and doesn't make a lot of sense. But all in all, a very solid character. Wouldn't it be great if they all were solid character? And I did that just full, like no sell whatsoever, just straight faced, just like, yeah, solid character, just to see. Arya is beloved by the fans, and for me though, late game Arya just doesn't do it for me. It's in season 6 when she gets mortally wounded by the waif and then survives. That is when Game of Thrones began to jump the shark. So for me, I'm gonna put Arya as an average character. That might bite me in the ass because I do enjoy Arya's portrayal by Maisie Williams. Balon Greyjoy, who is a very cool character in the books, who I think should have been utilized better in the show, is just there. He is one of the 5 kings. Doesn't do much else beyond that. Gets yeeted by Euron Greyjoy. And then Euron just takes his place, and no one on the Iron Islands cares, even though it's kinslaying, and kinslaying is like a mortal crime in Westeros, and everyone's kind of like, huh, all right. And his whole thing is like, but I'm cooler than he is, and he's been away for like a bunch of years, so why would anyone put any credence to that? Maybe not necessarily Balon's fault. This also has nothing to do with the acting, by the way, of any of these people that I'm putting in their respective tiers. Barristan Selmy, Barristan the Bold, he's a badass in the show. And in the books, a legend, dies from the Sons of the Harpy. Just there. He's just there. He's still alive in the books. In the books, he's S tier. He's the best. He's whatever you want to put it. In the show, he literally is just there. He saves Daenerys at one point from an attack by the Warlocks, and then the Warlocks never come back again. He's sort of famous scene as ratting out Jorah when the royal pardon comes with Robert Baratheon's seal on it. Other than that, just there. Benjen Stark, man, this hurts me to say. He's just there as well. I mean, his job is to move the story and get captured north of the wall, or lost north of the wall, or killed by White Walkers north of the wall. We're not 100% sure. And then Jon discovers him in late season 6, and then in season 7, he rescues Jon north of the wall. He's like a pseudo White Walker. Is he Cold Hands? Even though George kind of has hinted that he's not Cold Hands. I love that I said this is show-centric, and I've been referencing the books the entire time. So I think he's just there. Beric Dondarrion, I love Beric Dondarrion. I'm going solid character. I think he's amazing. I love the character. He introduces the concept of resurrection, which almost assuredly is, was being set up for Jon Snow, of course, and will be utilized in the books for Jon Snow as well. Beric Dondarrion's portrayal is amazing by this actor. So fantastic there. Brendan the Blackfish Tully is just there. He's just there. Portrayal is amazing in season 6. The whole mess with River Run and the phrase losing it to them and Jamie coming and getting it back. It's a mess. He doesn't ever live up to his full potential. He escapes during the Red Wedding, which is a very vague sort of, yeah, he escapes. He's badass in the way he talks with Edmure and the way he has Rob's back, but he really is, at certain points, just a plot device. Bran Stark, average. He's the three-eyed raven. I get it. I mean, his portrayal is really, really well done by Isaac, and the character itself gets a lot of flack for the writing decisions of Season 8. That's not Bran's fault, necessarily. But he becomes a robot when he becomes a three-eyed raven, and like the other three-eyed raven wasn't really like that. So why is Bran? Like, I don't fully understand that. Even in the history of three-eyed ravendom, they've been master of whisperers. So why would Bran be like turned into a complete and utter robot? I don't know. I can understand his personality changing a bit, but to go 0 to 60, it's jarring. I believe this is Brienne of Tarth and her face is cut off. Let's be honest. We all love Brienne. Let's put her in one of the best, man. Her portrayal is amazing. She has a great character arc, right? Of all the things they messed up from season 1 to season 8, in which they maybe bastardized some of the characters, Brienne was not one of them. Her being knighted was, of course, a scene that stole all of our hearts. And, no complaints with Brienne. Bronn, controversial. I think he's average, and I'll tell you why. He reached too high in the show, I think. To give him Highgarden is an absolute insane decision by the showrunners. His portrayal is amazing. The character is great. But the character sort of breaks that believability, breaks the world a little bit. So it's very hard for me to get behind Bronn as a character. I do like the character. His whole weird power grab in Season 8 where he shoots the crossbow at Tyrion and Jaime as like a threat. Very odd. Did not like that at all. Catelyn Stark, Catelyn Tully. She's average. I'm going to say Kat's average because she's an important character because she keeps the story going so much, but her decision to release Jaime is absolutely insane. I'm going to go solid character because it's that insane decision that is her love for her kids. And I have to have some level of consistency, If the show bastardized the character, that's one thing, but the show didn't bastardize her character. I think the show made a great cut, not including Lady Stoneheart, and I do think that Kat, the actor's portrayal, was amazing. The scene where she's talking to Talisa, who's, of course going to be Rob's wife, about making that sort of dream catcher thing and talking about Jon Snow and wishing he would die when he was a baby, but then promising the gods she would raise him and it turning against her. That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire series because it shows you the complexity of who Catelyn Stark was, and she is a solid character. But my God, mind-bogglingly bad decisions. Her and Rob cut from the same cloth with the decision-making. Dude, Cersei Lannister, let's go. I love Cersei. We're going to put her in the best, though, because I got to deduct points because she did in Season 8 become nothingness, not Cersei's fault. The showrunners completely dropped the ball with her in Season 8, looking out a window, drinking wine for however many, 6 episodes or how many episodes of Season 8, which is a joke. But Lena Headey's performance, my goodness, she is a master at the Game of Thrones. When I think of the Game of Thrones, I think of Cersei, I think of Baelish, I think of Tyrion, and I think of Tywin. Those 4 people come to mind. And Cersei might be, top. So she is amazing. Defeats Ned Stark, warns him about the Game of Thrones, and then defeats him. Craster, Wildling, Craster here, very disgusting character. I mean, he does his job, but he's average for me. He gets a cool death. He houses the Night's Watchman. He does his job, and sometimes that's good. That's all you need to do. It's like a fullback on a football team. Do your job. You won't be the highest paid player on the team by any stretch of the imagination, but you'll be average, and a lot of people will respect it. Dario Naharis, God, is he just there or is he average? I mean, his portrayal is interesting. They get 2 actors to do it. This actor was my favorite of the 2 and the one that did it for the long term. I'll say he's average. The character is cool in its way, but Tyrion telling Dany, you got to ditch him when you go to Westeros, could have ditched him sooner, for my liking. Her ending was rough. Man, I love me some Daenerys Targaryen. I'm putting her S tier. Because ultimately, I think she would have Mad Queened regardless, and I wish the show maybe did it over the course of 2 seasons, a slower burn. But she would have torched King's Landing. I think she had it in her from the word go. And Emilia Clarke is Daenerys Targaryen. She lived and breathed that role, brought so much life to it, and without her, couldn't imagine a different Daenerys. Couldn't imagine a different performance. Some of the stuff in season 7 and 8 was asinine. I mean, the battle against the Lannisters when the Dothraki and her are just in the middle of the continent somehow doesn't make much sense logistically. But we love our Queen Daenerys. Davos is an interesting one. I mean, Davos with Stannis Baratheon, solid character, bordering on very good. Davos with Jon Snow, just there. He's a hanger-on. He's a plot device. He's hitching his wagon to Jon Snow. So we'll split the difference, and since I would have gone the height of very good versus just there, we'll put him as a solid character, because he does move the story along. Dickon Tarly, he's just there. Sir Dantos, no offense, Dickon. Sir Dantos, he's just there, but I mean, we'll say average, because he does get Sansa from point A to point B with the Peter Baelish story, even though that becomes a bit muddled. Here is Dorian Martell. I mean, he's cool, but he's just there. He doesn't really, move the needle much. He's sort of weird in that, like, I feel like Ilaria Martell obviously is 0 to 60 when it comes to the Lannisters, and he's almost too complacent. Like, there is something there where the Lannisters are taking advantage of your house. Dorne is notorious for unbowed, unbent, unbroken, and he's kind of just going through the motions. Ilaria Sand here, I think I called her Ilaria Martell a second ago. I'm going to put her as average. The Sand Snakes are not portrayed well, and when Ilaria becomes sort of the Sand Snakes leader, her character goes downhill, but when she's with Oberyn and those two are sort of a dynamic duo, I think she's pretty solid. So split the difference, we'll go average. Khal Drogo, I'm going S tier. Not just because he's a named character, although a lot of the main characters I have in the S tier. I think that Jason Momoa, you just can't imagine anyone else as Khal Drogo. His scenes are perfect. His death is perfect. My gosh, just an infection from a small wound, which is why I'm pissed about the Arya waif scene. And let's be honest, those one season and out people kind of get the benefit of having an amazing arc. So he benefits from that. So maybe I should move him down to very good. Let's go with your gut. S tier. Yell at me in the comments. That's fair. Dolorous Ed, man. Dolorous Ed. I love you, Dolorous Ed. We'll go solid character. He's solid. His death sucks because Sam runs away after he gets killed by a White Walker after saving Sam. But he is a Night's Watchman through and through. Heart of Gold. Dude, Edmure Tully is pretty solid. I think Edmure Tully's a solid character. I think his performance is amazing. The whole mix-up in Season 6 where he's used as sort of a bargaining chip to get the Blackfish to sort of open the gates, or I guess the men to open the gates because he's their lord, is again, kind of beyond belief. But his portrayal, the character's arc is pretty solid. Him being at that council at the end and having no one listen to him is infuriating. He's one of the longer-serving lords at that point. So, Euron Greyjoy, dude. Pointless character. Pointless. He's not pointless at all. He has a point. The portrayal of him in the show was very pointless. It was really poorly done. The actor, I don't think it's his fault. I think the showrunners turning him into some groovy pirate was sort of insane. Whereas in the books, man, he's an eye patch wearing this hard-nosed, almost religious fanatic. They hinted at it when he bumps into Balon on the bridge, when he throws Balon over it and kinslays and says, I am the Drowned God Reborn. But man, they just went nowhere with that. Gendry also ultimately was a pointless character. And it's crazy because you're like, what? He's not he kind of is, man. They didn't do anything with him. They made him a Baratheon, which, when Dany does that, almost makes no sense when she legitimizes him in Season 8. You have made, a claimant to the throne, technically, if you wanted to be. But they ultimately did nothing with him. Gilly is just there. Again, sort of Sam's conscience where he can talk and bounce ideas off someone. Gren was solid, man. Gren was solid. His death comes earlier in the show than it does in the books, but that scene where he holds the gate against the giant, one of the best. And also is a great scene in early Season 1 when Tyrion explains to Jon, you're a highborn lord who came to the wall for honor. These guys are forced to be here, and Gren was an example of one of those people. Grey Worm Grey Worm's very good, and it's controversial, but man, the actor just owns it as Grey Worm, the leader of the Unsullied, one of the OG loyalists to the very end. It's just unfortunate that Grey Worm, it goes to naught at the end of Game of Thrones, and all of the Unsullied are definitely dying of that butterfly fever. Corran Halfhand, man, he moves the story with Jon Snow, but he is just there in the books. There's way more meat on the bone. In the show, he quickly tells Jon to kill him, and he does. There's just not enough there. Dude, oh my god, the High Septon. Let's just go pointless with him, dude. High Sparrow, I should say. He's just rough, dude. He's just rough. I mean, the scenes, it's season 5 is such a dip in quality because it's so boring. This is Hodor, his head's cut off. Hodor is very good. Regardless of what you think of the Hold the Door episode, if it begins to strain credulity a little bit, my dog Hodor is the man. And also, I went to a Game of Thrones convention in 2022 that was held in LA, and I flew out there. And the actor who plays Hodor was there, and he DJ'd one night, and it was sick. The man was like jamming. It was by far not a full like venue because it was just people who were like at the convention. It like wasn't advertised. It was a very light crowd, and you got to meet all the actors. It was awesome. But Hodor DJ'd one night, and he killed it. He was awesome. Hot Pie, man. Well, first off, Hot Pie, the rightful king of the... No, I'm kidding. But a lot of people think that... I think Hot Pie's solid. We'll say solid, because he does his job, right? He is a traveling companion of Arya. You could say, hey, man, if Corran is just there, and if Gilly is just there, then Hot Pie is just there. But Hot Pie showed character improvement over the course of the show. Remember the first time he made the wolf like little cake thing was terrible. The second time he gave it to Arya, it was beautiful. So that's character development. That's an arc. The Hound. Let's be honest. We all love the Hound, man. He's very good. There's not much you can say. Next, we got Sir Ilan Payne. Sir Ilan Payne's solid, right? He does his job. He cuts Ned's head off, and that's honestly one of the biggest things you could do in the show, and that's a very solid thing to do. Jaime Lannister. Oof. I mean, I love Jaime. He's very good. And I can't go S tier because his arc was obliterated. And you say, well, Daenerys' arc again. I think Daenerys ultimately was going to be a Mad Queen. I think having Jaime in season 8 say to Tyrion, I never cared about the innocents, is a crazy thing to say because a whole part of his arc is that as the Kingslayer, he betrayed everything he knew to save the innocent. So it's very heartbreaking that line was included in season 8. Janos Slynt is just there. He is a gold cloak that Tyrion slaps around a little bit, betrays Ned, sent to the wall. Jon Snow beheads him after he's Alistair Thorne's, kind of lapdog for a while. Does his job. All right, next up we got Jaqen H'ghar. I'm going average. Come at me, man. I know. I get it. It's the whole arc with Arya turns out to be so weird that I can't get behind it at all. Jeor Mormont, I think, is a solid character. He does his job. He is, one of the best Lord Commanders for my money, man. He trains up Jon Snow. He makes Jon Snow a steward, and everyone's like, what? And then Sam's the one that says to Jon, dude, he's grooming you to rule. He wants you to be the next sort of, Lord Commander, and the only way to do that is to learn from the best. Joffrey, you all know he's S tier. That arc from season 1 to season 4 got out at the right time, got to be evil. The actor did so good. People in real life were pissed at him. So that's what you got to do. My dog, Jojen Reed, man, you're just there, dog. We don't need to expound upon that. Jon Snow, solid character. George is setting him up to be resurrected in the books. I think he's well done by Kit Harington. He unfortunately kind of gets bastardized at the end. His season 8 is beyond me. She's my queen. I don't want it. Okay, whatever. So get a new bit, Chief. Oh my God, there's still so much to go. Let's go here. My dog, very good. I love me some Jorah Mormont. I think he's awesome. Jorah Mormont is without a doubt talk about loyal. Talk about an OG loyal dog. Man, this is Joy Castle. Kind of pointless, but for book people, he's a big deal. But goes to King's Landing, gets one pieced by Jaime Lannister in the fight in the streets. Carl, who kills Lord Commander Mormont, average. They gave him a lot of good character development. We got Kevin Lannister here. We're kind of in the doldrums now, so I'm going to speed through some of these. Kevin Lannister's average. Again, he just becomes like a Cersei hater for no reason. Doesn't really make sense. He tries to like sequester off Tommen from her. They all kind of give in to the High Sparrow, which makes no sense. Lancel Lannister, I'm going to go with average because at least he becomes interesting when he becomes like, one of the Faith Militant. When he's just like Lannister lapdog. I mean, technically, Big Dog is the one that was feeding Robert the booze on the hunting trip, so you could make an argument that he's a lot more important. Peter Baelish, man. That's S-tier stuff. That's S-tier stuff by the actor. That's S-tier all around. That's my guy, all right? He is, without a doubt, one of the best characters in the entire show. He has, for my money, one of the better arcs. I think it's unfortunate that he kind of gets outwitted by Sansa, but he is, without a doubt, one of the best. And for my money, the actor, I believe his name is Aidan Gillen, did an amazing job. What's this? Locke. Locke is just there, and he's just there to cut off Jaime Lannister's hand. Loras Tyrell, he's a solid character, man. Again, falls into the sort of once they're past the book situation in season 6, they don't really know what to do with him, which is unfortunate, and they do that with a lot of the named characters. But before that, he's very important to the story. Obviously, his relationship with Renly is what sort of keeps that alliance between the Tyrells and the Lannisters alive, and then, because the betrayal there of Stannis killing Renly is what allows the Tyrells then to wed Marjorie to Joffrey and save the Battle of the Blackwater. Maester Luwin's solid, man. We all love Maester Luwin. He's an OG. Who is this? This Lady Mormont, man. I'm going to be honest. She's average. She's got some great lines, and we love those lines. But a lot of screen time there. Why do you need all that screen time? Doesn't make much sense. Lyanna Stark, important, just there. Alrighty, we got Liza Tully or Liza Aaron. Average. Portrayal is cool. She's scary, man. She's so scary. She kind of wigs me out a little bit. Let's see where we're at. I mean, this is impressive so far, and we're just putting a dent on it. We're kind of on cruise control right now. Mace Tyrell, let's go, buddy. You're pointless on the show. You really are. I put him in the pointless category. Even though he laid siege to Storm's End before the events of Game of Thrones, he really doesn't provide much on Game of Thrones other than to be like a comedic device because Olenna's always making fun of him. He's always getting taken advantage of by Tywin. It's just like, okay. Mance Rayder's a solid character, dude. Teaches Jon Snow about the Wildling Way. Jon Snow, let's be honest, adopts the Wildling Way in a lot of what he does and a lot of how he views the world. Marjorie Tyrell is solid too, man. You gotta love Marjorie. Her portrayal is amazing by Natalie Dormer. And I think that her character deserved maybe a bit of a better end. At least during the whole blowing up of the Sept in late season 6, she was the one who noticed something was amiss. But I think she doesn't get enough credit for being a player in the Game of Thrones. Mira Reed, where'd I put Jojen? She's going with Jojen. Where'd I put him? I don't even see him. She's going here. She's going average. It's just, Jojen wasn't just there. Yeah, Mira was above him, for sure. The Red Woman, dude. The Red Woman's solid, man. I like the Red Woman. She's a really great portrayal by Clarice Van Houten. I think that the Red Woman, makes a lot happen, most of it incorrect. She saw Stannis' victory in the flames. Guess what? She needs glasses because it didn't happen that way. She saw something, wasn't Stannis' victory. Meryn Trant, I'm going to go with average. His portrayal is amazing, and the actor is very nice. He's on Cameo, and I got a cameo from him once. He does a very good job, and his job is to get killed by Arya in Bravos, and Meryn Trant does that. But he's an average character. Missandei, dude, she's solid. She's solid, man. Her portrayal is amazing. The actress does such a great job as Missandei. Very difficult end. I think the show writers really dropped the ball with Missandei's portrayal at the end. But very solid character. The Mountain Man's average. When he becomes like a zombie, it's like, whatever. You don't need zombies in Game of Thrones. But he does kill Oberyn, so that's a big deal. I think this is Ramsay Bolton's girlfriend, Miranda. We'll go pointless character. I mean, no disrespect. I'm sure she has a larger point in maybe the novels. But, yeah. Marcella, just there. Love me some Marcella, but she's just there. Ned, dude, let's go. You know my dog Ned. You know my dog Ned is S tier, man. We love Sean Bean. His performance was amazing. And it's just like all the important characters I'm putting in S tier. It's like, or I should say the best, right? It's the best. But yeah, of course. The Night King, at the end of the day, kind of pointless, right? Kind of a pointless character at the end of the day. What point did the Night King ultimately serve? I don't know. Oberyn, dude, let's go. This guy, my dog Oberyn, man, we're going very good with Oberyn. His portrayal was amazing. Of course, the actor did an amazing job and is all over the place now and deserves to be, because Oberyn Martell, all-timer, dude. Lady Olenna, dude, no joke. We're going straight to the top. S-tier performance. Diana Rigg's performance is amazing. Her death is even amazing. At a time when Game of Thrones was botching a lot in Season 7, tell Cersei, I wanted her to know it was me. An amazing way to go. In a scene that ultimately was even flawed. I mean, like, the Tyrells put up no fight. The Lannisters were able to siege their castle that quick, I mean, and she still owned it. Ollie, dude. Ollie's average, and I would even drop him lower, because screw him, dude. This is the male brothel guy who works with Baelish and also has a thing with Loras, which allows him to rat him out to the High Sept or the High Sparrow. I think his name's Oliver. He's just there. It's to move the story. Same with this gentleman. Oh, my God. Oral. Yeah, he also is kind of just there to be a bad guy. Oh, my dog Osha, dude. She's average. She does a good job. She defends Rickon. But at the end of the day, like, they kind of didn't know what to do with her and then just ultimately yeeted her to Ramsay. My dog Podrick will go. I'm going to move him up to solid. He's solid. I'm not going to get caught up in the, hey, he's the best ever, I mean, he doesn't have many lines. Does not have many lines. Polliver is just there, but just there is not, I don't even view just there as like a huge insult. Like, he does his job. Pyat Pri is just there, does his job. Grandmaster Pycelle, he's average. They dropped the ball with him in Season 6, didn't know what to do with him, so like, let's have Qyburn just kill him. Who is this? Is this Pip? Pip is just there. Qyburn is average. We're kind of speed rounding here. Qyburn is a solid character, but my dog turned the mountain into a zombie, and I didn't like that, so he's average. Ramsay, I don't like how he's just like the ultimate bad. So we'll go average with Ramsay, because it's just like, we get it. It became so black and white at a time when like Game of Thrones was notorious for being those areas of gray. Who's good, who's bad. And then it was like, Ramsay's the ultimate bad guy. Then the Night King's the ultimate bad guy. Then Cersei's the ultimate bad guy. And it's like, well, no, there's like nuance. Where's the nuance? We then have, this is Randall Tarley. Dude, I like Randall Tarley. He's solid. I love the actor's performance. The actor's voice, oh my God, it's like molasses. It's so deep. It's amazing. Who's this? This is Ras, dude. Just there. This is the Hound's buddy. I don't remember his name. He's so pointless. It's just to introduce a character that the Hound likes so we can see he has changed a little bit. They kill him immediately in one episode, and the Hound is mad about it. My dog, Renly Baratheon, he's solid, right? Does his job, but also is there for a couple of seasons and is ultimately there to kind of introduce Stannis in a big way. And when the Red Woman says Stannis was born amongst salt and smoke, and Renly goes, "Is he a ham?" One of the greatest burns in the history of the Game of Thrones world. My dog Rhaegar, he's just there. He's a plot device in these books. I don't care what anyone says. That's what he is. And also, unfaithful to his wife and his actual children, and started a whole war because of it. How rude by him. My dog Rickon, congrats. You're pointless. Dude, Robb, it's a hard one, man. He's average. I love Robb Stark. Love him. And the more I read about Robb Stark, the more I watched him in action on the shows, the more I just got infuriated with him. Bad decision-making, cut from that same cloth as Cat. Just like, what are you doing, dude? Think logically, my dog. Robert Baratheon, again, sort of benefits from being in and out. He's a solid character. No, let's go very good. Let's go very good with Robert. Why not, man? He deserves to be up there. And the actor portrays him so well. Little Robin Aaron, dude. He's kind of just there for a good part of it, but we'll go average. Little Robin Aaron, who in the book is actually, I think, Rob Aaron. He's like Robert as well. But because there's so many Robs, the shows didn't want you to get confused. And I thank them for that, because I think a lot of people would have, especially my parents, and they like the show. Roderick Castle, he's average, dude, but I love me some Roderick Castle. Can I get it to go where I want it to go? Yeah, all right, fine. I'll just go in the middle there. Congrats, Roderick. You're there. Roose Bolton, dude. I love Roose Bolton's portrayal. I think he's amazing. I'm going up very good. The actor does an amazing job as Death. Little unceremonious in the show. He takes a quick stab right to the chest. A stab that Arya survived and then also swam and then ran away from the waif. That's neither here nor there. But my dog Roose was amazing. An architect of the Red Wedding, sort of that 3-team trade that Tywin was able to make to mastermind between Walder Frey and Roose. Well done. I believe her name is Roz, and I love her. She also is one of those people who sort of gets in, and we're going to go very good because of the way she's able to sort of play the Game of Thrones. She is, a sex worker at Winterfell. When war starts to pop off, she moves to King's Landing. She knows the work will be better. She gets in with Baelish. She then realizes Baelish isn't good and is able to work with Varys until ultimately is sold out by Baelish for working with Varys to Joffrey, and Joffrey, of course, kills her. Sort of like if you're in the Game of Thrones and you're a small character, that's a hell of a character arc to have, and ultimately serve the story. Dude, my sweet dog Samwell Tarly, let's go. He also is very good. We all love Sam, man. He does such a good job, the actor and all that. We love us some Sam. Oh, dude, don't even get me started on the Sand Snakes. It's not their fault. The show dropped the ball with them, but all I have to go off of is their entire arc in the show. They are pointless. Dude, Sansa controversial, but she's average. She didn't tell Jon Snow that she had the Knights of the Vale in her yoke. They force a callback with her in season 8 when she goes, I don't know how to use it. And then Arya says to her, stick her with the pointy end, even though she had no clue that reference was said to Arya. It's like a weird callback. And also, like, at that point, Sansa is like a grown woman, and she's saying she doesn't know how to use it. It's a knife. What are you talking about? And even when Arya said it to Jon, she doesn't know how to use it. She meant more the art of sword fighting, Just unfortunate. Selyse Baratheon, just there. And then also burns Shireen. Like, what? Shay, dude. Shay, man, it's like it's not the actress. I mean, Shay does her job. She's a solid character, and her job is to ultimately betray Tyrion. And, like, I'm not doing this based on, like, oh, man, I hate it that she betrayed Tyrion. I'm doing it based on the character's portrayal in the show, and the portrayal was well done. Shireen, how can you be mad at Shireen, man? She's a solid character. She teaches Ser Davos how to read, which is actually crucial to the story. She shows the true cruelty of Stannis Baratheon. And speaking of Stannis, we'll actually kind of tastelessly put him right next to her as a solid character. I'd love to make him very good because of the portrayal. But there's a lot of Stannis things in the show that just don't add up for me. And his death being off screen made me think for a while, watching it like live, I was like, did Brienne not kill him? Ultimately, and then it turns out she did. Cyril Farrell, man, he's in, he's out, and he does his job. Let's go. My dog is S tier. I'm doing it. I don't care. He's the best, and he's one of the best because the guy gets it. He teaches Arya the art of the sword dance. He defends her when Meryn Trant, the Gold Cloaks, it's weird because he was a Kingsguard, but the Gold Cloaks are with him, and they're kind of trying to get Arya. And he defends her. Talise, just there, man. Making Rob do bad decisions. The waif, pointless. Let's not even talk about it. Theon Greyjoy, he is going straight up to the best, and I mean that. First off, from a strictly acting perspective, Alfie Allen, to be in that level of duress that many times for, they're doing multiple takes, the tears, the energy, to be like that essentially for 4 seasons of just constantly stressed out, a shell of a human being, that takes a lot out of you. The man's performance is just next level. And he was at that Game of Thrones convention as well. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Thoros of Myr, he's average. I love his portrayal, but he is average. Tommen is kind of just there. Dude, I love me some Tormund Giantsbane, dude. We're going to go with a solid character. Him and Jon both together are great. Tormund surviving the entire Game of Thrones surprised me. I saw him, and actually Grey Worm for that matter, too. I saw them both as characters that would eventually, be killed. But no. Trystane Martell, congratulations. Boom. Pointless. Tyrion breaks my heart, man. Tyrion breaks my heart. He's average. I know. Yell at me. Season 1 through 4 Tyrion is S tier. Season 5 through 8 Tyrion is borderline pointless or just there. So I'm doing average as a compromise, right? You'd be like, oh, bump him up to solid. No, we're going to keep him at average because season 5 through 8 Tyrion makes asinine decisions. He is a joke machine. That's it. His job is to insult Varys and drink and act in Meereen completely the opposite of how he acted in King's Landing in terms of success rate. And Tywin Lannister, we're going straight to the top with my dog Tywin. His portrayal by Charles Dance is next level. The character is next level. His arc is perfect. Again, benefiting from that 1 through 4 seasons and then getting out. Septa Mordane, she does her job, man. Does her job. She's average. Varys, my dog. We're going to go up to very good with Varys. He does his job to a T. The character's death is a bit upsetting because he completely stops spinning his webs. A man who is so crucial to getting Daenerys on the throne to immediately turn on her is kind of wild. And to immediately be like openly committing treason when he was so careful about his life for so long is also kind of wild. Dude, Viserys does his job. Daenerys' older brother, Viserys, is a solid-ass character, man. He moves the story. He's evil. Khal Drogo gives him his crown of gold. You talk about one season. Guys, what is he, like 6 episodes maybe? And the guy just absolutely owns it. Hey, man, Walder Frey does her job, all right? We're going average. And her father, Waldo Frey, solid character. Actually, we're going to go very good character. Don't care what anyone says. The man nails it as an evil, smarmy, offers someone house right by bringing them in, giving them food, giving them mead, giving them wine under his roof, and then kills them. Doesn't give a shit because he is Walder Frey. And even though Arya becomes a super assassin and kills him and his entire house, it's kind of like a cool death for him, even though the circumstances are a bit shaky. I love this. Random White Walker. Hell yeah, dude. Pointless. Sure. 1-1? Is this 1-1? We're going to go average. Does his job. Dude, Zarozo and Doxos. Is that my dog Zarozo and Doxos? We're going to move him up to average. He does his job, man. The guy kills it. I have no beef with Zaro. Yara, average. She's very average. Ygritte, dude. We're going straight up with Ygritte. All right? We're going up. Past solid. We're going very good with Ygritte. The reason is her performance is amazing. The character sort of benefits from that get in, get out. Very seminal to Jon Snow's character going forward. It's just Jon Snow having the arc he did kind of lowers Ygritte a bit because when your character exists to sort of move another character and that character moves almost nowhere, it's tough to justify going too high. Who is this? Yoren? My dog Yoren, he's hanging out with Arya. He's average. He does his job, dude. We got my dog, the Three-Eyed Raven. And let me tell you something. I cannot stand the Three-Eyed Raven scenes. Whenever it introduces it, there's always a raven caw, and it was always weirdly loud. You ever notice that? Sound mixing is an important part of filmmaking. And ultimately, he leads to the creation of Bran as the Three-Eyed Raven, where it doesn't really work for me. So I'm going to go with just there. Controversially, I know. Maester Aemon, the final one here. I'm going straight up to where Ygritte is because he, like her, is crucial to a couple different arcs. He's crucial to Jon Snow's arc. He's crucial to Samwell Tarly's arc. And also, he's Egg from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms' brother. So boom, he gets very good. So here it is. These are my Game of Thrones rankings. Thank you guys for joining me. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, disagree in the comments. Let me know what you think.
Death wish, not to be messed with, tested quiz. They shooting shots.